I'm Katrina Lujan. I'm your case manager.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Evelina.
Hi, Evelina. It's nice to meet you. How old are you, Evelina?
See you in the picture there too well. There you go. I am 23 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And,
So, that's very nice. Before we begin, I want to go over a confidentiality policy. Anything that is said in here will remain confidential unless you're planning on harming yourself or somebody else, then I would have to report it. Also, you have access to your records at any time. Do you consent to this?
absolutely. I'm not planning to harm myself in any way. It's not
Okay.
that serious.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it would be nice to get a copy of records later, maybe.
Oh yeah,
That'd
of
be
course.
awesome.
I can definitely do that for you.
Great.
Alright, so before we also begin too, I want to tell you that my role as your case manager is to listen to you and to give you any referrals or recommendations that are needed.
Okay, thank you.
So tell me what brings you in today.
Well, let's see. I've actually, where are we here? Let's see, here we go. Okay. Well, my parents are the ones I suggested I come in for counseling. My grades haven't been doing as well lately, and they seem concerned about that. Maybe more concerned than I am, actually.
Okay. And is it for school? Your
Yeah,
grades?
I'm going to ASU.
Oh, wow.
I'm a student.
What are you majoring in?
Well, I have 2 degrees. I'm doing an audiology degree, and I'm also studying botany.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. 2 majors.
2 majors.
Most people that I know can barely handle 1 major.
Yeah, it's been a challenge, but it really fascinates me. It's been a great experience.
Well, that is
I'm
so
having a good
cool.
time.
Congratulations on that endeavor of yours.
Thank you.
What made you want to become an audiologist and a botanist?
Well, the audiology, I worked in medical for a few years when I was going to college earlier, and I've learned about what they do. I've been able to observe and see the skills that they use. They work with people that have a hard of hearing or children that need ear tubes, and then they test their hearing. It's a whole field. It's really fascinating to me, and the woman that was in our office for a while talked to me a lot about it. We used to go to lunch, and she just made it really like an interesting field, and I realized what a value that skill was in our community, and I just thought that would be something I'd love to learn about.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
And the botany, I don't know, my dad worked for the Forest Service for years, and he was always talking about plants and trees and nature. We got a lot, we go hiking and backpacking, and I just became interested in learning the scientific names for some of the plants, and he would help us kids learn about that, and the whole field. That field really appealed to me as well, so I decided that would be an interesting area to study as well.
oh wow, that is so cool.
Thank you.
That's very fascinating. So tell me about your parents. How do you have a good relationship with them?
I do. I do have a good relationship with my parents. They're wonderful people. They love each other. They're married a long time. Sometimes I think they're a little overly involved in my life, considering I'm not a teenager anymore.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I think there's a little tension there with that. But I know that where I've been lately, they're probably right, and it probably isn't hurting for me to come in and see somebody. So it's good. It's all good.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you took that initiative to come in today. That says a lot about your character. Do you have any friends or boyfriends that you're currently?
I did have a boyfriend that I was seeing for quite a while. He's my ex-boyfriend now. He's a mechanical engineer. He's studying, and we've had some interesting common areas that we've enjoyed together. We're both in interesting fields, and there's a crossover there with some of the science fields a little bit. So,
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you guys broke up. Can you tell me about the breakup?
sure. His name is Eric. We've been broken up about 3 weeks. We've been together for almost a year, so it felt like we were really, really together, And it's been kind of hard on me. It's been pretty rough. I'm pretty broken up about it, actually. Pretty sad.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Dating can be hard at any age. It doesn't matter, if you're 20 or if you're 40. It just can be hard for anybody.
Yeah.
And it can be very devastating. Was there any signs to his behavior before he broke up with you? Like any weird signs you noticed?
Well, I really don't understand why he broke up. Everything seemed fine. We were planning to go to Flagstaff the night before to open Christmas gifts. And, it just seemed like everything was going our way, and I was really excited. I got my hair done. I got a new outfit. Got some new snow clothes. The last I heard, he was planning on marrying me. I heard this from a friend who'd said that he told them that. And if I'd known he was going to break up with me, it was the last thing on earth I thought he was going to do. And we've been trying really hard to be faithful, but, live our principles before marriage. And so, we call it the law of chastity. And we were trying really hard to do that. I'm LDS, I'm Mormon, and that's part of our belief system that we wait and be with the person we're going to be married to. So we were still doing that, and I just felt like we were on a really good path, and I just felt that if I did find someone else who's going to marry me, I also want to be sure that I'm living this law. It's just the whole thing was just kind of stressful for me all the way around.
Oh yeah, of course. And you mentioned like the law of chastity. Is that abstaining from sex?
It is. Yeah, it's just pretty much being, waiting until you're married. It's really what that's all about. I know it's kind of an old-fashioned notion. A lot of people don't believe it anymore. I think it's really out of date. But there's still groups in the United States and in the world who still adhere to those principles. And we believe that's really an important piece, that once you're married, you're together with just that person and faithful only to them. It's a really important part of our culture and our belief system.
Well, it sounds like a beautiful thing, and it definitely says a lot about your character too. And I really empathize with your situation and what you're going through. Like, I can't imagine, and like my heart goes out to you. And I feel like anyone would be lucky enough to marry you. Like, you're ambitious, you're smart for going to school, you're strong for even being in my office today, and you're doing 2 majors too. Like, that's crazy. But you also mentioned that he was planning on marrying you. Why the fixation on being married? I think you're so young.
Well, I am by the rest of the world's standards, but in our culture, it's not unusual at all for people to get married younger. And the boys go on missions when they're 21, or no, when they're 19. They get back when they're 21. A lot of times in their early to mid 20s, they do get married. And girls can go on missions at 20 or 21, and some of them do and some of them don't go, but a lot of them marry early. College is important. We're always encouraged to get a good education, but the marriage is a social priority. And, every family event I go to, they keep asking me when I'm going to get married, and I'd love to know, but I feel like no one wants to marry me, because I'm not engaged yet at 23. I'm feeling like, I'm old.
Oh, well, you're not old. Let me tell you that. Listen, you're beautiful, and you have plenty of time to find the right man. You just keep doing what you're supposed to, and he will come. And plus, the best part about marrying someone later in life is they'll be established in their careers, they'll have their own car, their own house, and if you guys choose to bring children into this world, you guys will be more equipped for that.
That's true. That's a good point. That's true. I do see some of these friends of mine getting married really young, and they try to live in a little apartment, and they don't seem to ever have enough resources, especially if one or both of them are going to school, and they end up a lot of times back with their parents. That causes stress. And I do have a couple of friends that have gotten married later, and they, like you say, they have a savings and they can plan for some of these things. So that is a good point.
So let me just recap from what we just talked about, just to make sure I have everything correct. Your parents suggested that you came here to seek out counseling because your grades started slipping, and about 3 weeks ago, you and your ex-boyfriend Eric broke up, and it was completely out of the blue, and if you would have known he was going to break up with you, you would have never broken up the law of chastity. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So, Evelina, let me ask you, how were you after the breakup? How did you feel?
Well, I was completely heartbroken. I was devastated. I am still heartbroken. It was like he was dying. My heart was dying. I was heartbroken. It was really sad. There's a piece of me that feels like it's missing. I had emotionally connected to him, and we were so close, and we would share every little thing, and now he's gone. And, I would get a lump in my throat, and I would start to cry. My stomach would be full, and I cried nonstop for those 3 days. Initially, it was really hard. I'm a little better now, but I'm still really, really, really blue, really down. I'm really sad.
Did your parents know it was hard for you to eat during that time?
They knew I was sad, but I didn't tell them I couldn't eat. I just took my meals to my room and tried to sort of pretend to eat. My best friend didn't even know, actually.
Your best friend didn't know that you couldn't eat, or about the breakup?
She knew about the breakup, but I didn't tell her that I couldn't eat. She just got engaged, and I didn't want to ruin that happy time in her life with how much mine sucked. Plus, her and I are not keen on to show our emotions. If it's serious enough, we will. But we don't always express ourselves maybe the way some girlfriends do. We're a little more closed. So
it's understandable. Well, with what you just told me, she's your best friend, and I feel like as a best friends are supposed to be there for each other. And I feel if you do tell her, it'd be a good option for you. It can make you two even more closer.
I'm sure that's true. I have to kind of get over this, and I'm a little bit jealous because she's engaged and there's all this attention, and she's planning. I've gone to her look at flowers and taste cake with her fiance and stuff. It was really fun, and just kind of made me sad because I thought that was going to be happening for me, and it isn't. But I need to kind of get over it, I guess. I don't know. It's hard.
Of course, yeah, it is hard. Like I said, dating is so hard. But don't be afraid to show your emotions out. I think one of the strongest things like a person can do is to show their emotions. So I would strongly encourage you to try to talk to your friend, and I think that could help.
Okay, I will do that. I used to go dancing. I can dance kind of Latin dance, salsa, all that kind of stuff. And I actually danced before I met Eric, and I still continue while I dated. But I haven't been dancing at all since the breakup.
Well, I think that's amazing that you did Latin dancing. I used to do sports in high school, and I know from personal experience that when you exercise, your body releases these feel-good hormones, and it can increase your mood. Some people call it runner's high, and I think that can definitely help you, just to feel better about this breakup.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think any kind of exercise would be good. Running, walking, just getting some fresh air in the mornings or in the late evenings since it's so hot out now. But the dancing might be something fun. I've got a couple of girlfriends that enjoy doing that with me. We should probably just start going again.
Yeah,
it'd be fun.
I think it'd be so much fun for you to do.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, let me ask you, Evelina, if a miracle happened today and all your problems were gone, how would you know that it happened?
Well, it wouldn't be because I was with Eric, because I realized that that's not going to happen. But I would be happier. I would focus on my school a little more and enjoy my friends that I do have and be hopeful about my future. I don't want to say if everything were perfect, I would be engaged or married, because I'm not sure that's really on the agenda right now. But I think I know that changing my attitude would help a lot.
Okay. Well, we can definitely help with that. So let me just summarize so far what we talked about. We talked about a lot of things.
We did.
So you recently had the breakup with Eric. It was 3 months ago. And you used to go dancing too. Before you started dating Eric, you did Latin dancing, and something you really enjoyed. And then after the breakup, you stopped going, and your grades started slipping, and right now it's hard for you to share with your best friend your emotions.
That's true. That's all exactly right. Okay. And I'm a little blue, a little down.
Of course.
For sure.
I'm sorry to hear that. We go through these trials, and they can be really hard sometimes, but I know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just gotta persevere and endure.
Right.
And I have some referrals for you. But before I get into that, I want to know, what do you hope to get out of our session today?
Well, I think it's just been really good for me to kind of sit down and talk with you about my situation. I've never really sat and talked with anyone about it clearly. I've kind of been emotional about it. I've cried. My parents and we've tried to talk about it, but I was kind of hysterical about the whole thing. It was right after the breakup, and my dad didn't seem to see what the big deal was. And my mother was sad for me, but she said, "Darling, you're young. You have your whole life ahead of you." And I kind of blurted back at her, "No, I don't. My life is over, And I don't feel that way today. After talking with you, I feel like I'm a little more calmed down. I'm seeing things a little in a more moderate way. I'm not so up and down. My moods have sort of balanced a little bit. But I think mostly I'd like to have you help me get some ideas. Someplace I can go to get some counseling. Someone that's kind of an expert in this field that might just have some ideas on. I'm not sure I'm really depressed. I'm not sure it's that strong of a word. But I think if I don't address my feelings now and make some changes, it could go into depression, And I'd like to talk to somebody that maybe can help me figure out where I am with those things.
Okay. Well, we actually have a program. It's a peer support group for people who are grieving and who suffer from depression, but some of them don't even have depression too. They come in and then they show their support. It's called Grieving Citizens. They meet Monday and Wednesday. and they just share their experiences. And the coordinator of the support group, they provide just tips and different counseling.
Oh, that's great. That's good to know. I haven't heard of them before. It's a new something I hadn't heard about.
Yeah, they actually live just like right down the street, so it's pretty close distance. Would you be interested in doing that?
I really would. I'd like to, get some contact information and figure out if my insurance covers or if we need to pay or what the co-pays are. That would be great if you could help me figure some of that out. That would really help me a lot.
Definitely. I'll get you the contact information for that. And also, I want to meet with you again. I want to get in contact with the tutoring center at ASU and see if we can get you some tutoring for your grades.
Okay.
Something?
That would be great. Yeah. It's mostly just my statistics.
Okay.
And I've got kind of a big project coming up. I just have gotten a little bogged down. I think if I could meet with someone to help me kind of refocus a little on the outline and fill in a few of the pieces that I'm not completely sure how to answer the questions. Maybe if I sat with a tutor with my book and the assignment and my laptop and the syllabus, I could kind of put it all together a little more carefully. If I could just get these 2 assignments completed, I think I would have that off my plate, and I know my grade would bump right back up because I was getting A's before, and now I'm kind of a low B, and I don't want to get a C. I want to get an A.
Of course, yeah, we want you to pass.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, definitely. So I will give you the contact information for the Grieving Citizens, and the next time we meet, I will give you the contact information for the tutoring center so you can set up an appointment.
That's great. Thank you so much.
And is there any other concerns of yours that weren't addressed today?
No, I think you pretty much handled everything I was interested in. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. And then do you have my contact information?
I do.
Okay, great. Well, I will see you next week.
Okay.
And it was great seeing you.
Thank you.
I know for sure that we can definitely help you get through this.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate your help.
Have a good day.
Thank you.